Good evening. The last 5 days of the Betfred World Championship are all about the last 4 men standing. And if your interest in this great championship starts to peak about now, your timing's perfect. Because this evening we start our second semi-final, and it features a man whose name peppers this honours board in 1998, in 2007, and 9 and 11. Because John Higgins is bidding for a 5th world title.
There's no place like the Crucible when it's down to one table.
It's John Higgins who wins the 2007 World Championship. Fantastic.
That's the best I think I've ever played in my life now. To do it actually under that sort of pressure, it was amazing.
For the third time, as the crowd give him the standing ovation, John Higgins is the Betfred.com World Champion.
It's amazing to obviously won the first one in '98 and then it took so long to win another one, and then a couple of years after winning the second one to come and win it again. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Is he taking the double? He is. He's taking the double. That was absolutely fantastic. He takes his 4th world title.
2011 was the last time, and lucky enough I'm here, and obviously I'd be willing to go one better and get the final.
Well, not since John won the last of those 4 world titles in 2011 has he actually walked back out through here into the tunnel and onto this one-table stage at the Crucible Theatre in the semi-finals. What a thrill it's going to be for him to be back. But his opponent, the wily human Barry Hawkins, is something of an old hand now. This is his 4th semi-final in the last 5 years, although he's still to get his hands on the trophy. They'll be back out here very soon.
It's a great occasion. You know, I've been watching it since I was a young boy on the TV, dreamed of playing at the Crucible. Now I'm on the one table set up again. So if I don't enjoy that occasion, then I might as well put the cue away. John's playing some great stuff, and yeah, I need to be at the top of my game really to beat him. That's for sure.
To be back at the one table setup, there's no place like the Crucible when it's down to one table, and just delighted. 2011 was the last time, and you begin to think, well, are you maybe going to ever get there again to sample it? But lucky enough I'm here, and obviously I'd be willing to now go one better and get the final.
Well, he's a proper legend of the game now, isn't he? So yeah, he's been playing some brilliant stuff the last couple of years. Yeah, when he's playing well, you know, you have to play perfect snooker to beat him. Great champion, and yeah, great bloke as well, really.
He's became such a tough all-round player. He was before, but I think it was maybe mentally that maybe let him down a little bit. He maybe felt that he didn't belong in the same stage as like a Sullivan or a Selby or that, but now he knows he belongs there, and he's such a tough player.
It's a matter of just taking my chances when they come along, and I'm going to need to score heavy, that's for sure. I need to win frames in one visit, and because if it gets too nitty-gritty in the tactical side of it, John's so good at that. It's yeah, it's going to take a lot of energy to keep winning frames like that. So I need to be clinical, really.
I'm so much over the moon now that I'm going to be competing here for the next 2 or 3 days in the one table setup. There's no place like it, and I can't wait to get out there.
And we're joined by the 1991 world champion, John Parrott. John, you played in this amazing setup 3 years in a row, 89, 90, 91. You never take these occasions for granted. What's so special about this place on a night like this?
It's mano a mano, isn't it? Simple as that. You've been over there, you've been sitting next to your opponents for the first week or so, or 10 days, and then all of a sudden you're on your own. The table's in the middle of the room, you're the centre of attention, the dividing wall's gone, and this is where the business starts.
And it's 6 years since John Higgins last had a taste of it like this. Excitement, yes, but a few nerves, would you imagine, for him tonight?
It's the moment now, actually. He'll be actually cursing us two being out here talking before he needs to come out, because behind there, I'm feeling for both boys. They just want to get out and hit some balls. And he's bound to be nervous. We saw him today. He came out and sat in the chair, didn't he, just to get the atmosphere and feel what it was like. Because it is, you know, if you've been away for a while, that's what it's like. And he came out today, soaked it all up, and he'd be looking forward to it.
We've seen vintage Higgins, haven't we? We've seen 5 centuries. We've seen some fantastic counter clearances as well. Are the bookmakers right to make him favourite in this semi-final?
I think on what they've watched so far, and he scored slightly heavier than Barry, maybe so, but I think this is a really tough matchup. I think both of them are consummate match players. They played 14 times in total, it's 7 each. So it's going to be tough.
But Barry's become a real form horse here. What do you put that down to?
Well, if you're very good at shot selection, if you play those shots to the best of your capability, if you've got a good temperament and you score, you'd end up in a semi-final of the World Championship. And Barry Hawkins ticks all those boxes.
He has. This is his 4th in 5 years, as we've been saying, and they'll be out here very shortly. So our second semi-final is about to get underway. The first burst into life this afternoon.
The one-table situation at the Crucible Theatre. No better venue in snooker. Good shot, found the gap, played it positively. He could not have played that any better. Wonderful first frame. If the match stays like that, we're in for a cracker. Straight red, good cueing needed. And got, wonderful shot.
Well, that shows a sign of a very confident player.
It's a very risky shot to take on, but taking it on he is. And getting it. Played it well. The red for the century. Oh, just a fraction off. All square, 2 apiece. Never a doubt. And he's judged it to absolute perfection. Well, he's going to give 6 points away, and he's going to leave a red on. Well, would you believe that? That's amazing.
The only thing we've missed this afternoon is a century. Miss one now.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful play from Ding Junhui, who has a 5 frames to 3 lead over the defending champion.
Yeah, Mark Selby trailing for the first time in this championship. That's a match between the younger boys. Ding just turned 30, Mark Selby 33, but this is an evening for the more mature player. Barry Hawkins turned 38 during this championship, and John Higgins is still teaching the younger guys a thing or two at the age of almost 42. Let's not keep them hanging around any longer, shall we? MC Rob Walker is at the ready.
Thanks, Hazel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a match in prospect. 2 of the very best in the business. It's time for the start of our second semi-final in this year's Betfred World Snooker Championship. They are poised and they are ready backstage. Please welcome a player who in recent years has acquired a brilliant Crucible record, making, as we've heard, 4 of the last 5 semi-finals. Here after victory over Stephen Maguire last night. 3 times a ranking event winner, including this season's World Grand Prix. His son Harrison will be watching live tonight. Here comes the Hawk, Barry Hawkins. And his opponent, emerging for his 8th Crucible semi-final. His first was back in '98. This is his best run in Sheffield for 6 years. Winner of a staggering 28 ranking titles. He is without doubt one of Scotland's finest sportsmen. 4 times a champion of the world, the Wizard of Wishaw, John Higgins.
Very good evening, Hazel, and a very good evening to everyone.
First frame.
Two of the game's great nice guys contesting this semi-final here. And it's Barry Hawkins who gets the first frame underway. Couldn't believe it was 2011 since John Higgins was at the one table situation here in the Crucible Theatre, but doesn't time fly by? Look at that, down to the one table. That's when it really comes into its own. Going to be a fascinating tussle, this one, Willie.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Barry Hawkins considered himself rather fortunate yesterday against Steve Maguire. Had a good run of the ball, but obviously over 17 days at the Crucible, you do need that little bit of run of the ball now and again. But he's been here 4 times in the last 5 years at the semi-final stage. Can he once again go one further and get to the final? Tough game to call, but Higgins just favourite for me.
Just a slight mistake there, catching the yellow with a safety shot, but no damage done. It means that John can play a more telling safety. He'll be looking to get in behind the yellow and brown. Not quite, but with the yellow off its spot, it's a pretty good target, those two colours. There's the tournament safety success rate. There's Barry slightly ahead there, and John ahead in the pot success department. But that'll move him up. What is the percentage? Great opening pot. Just shows you if you don't get that cue ball down on the ball cushion, right in the centre of the pocket. There's something about left-handed players that are great to watch, Willie, at this game, and of course at the great game of golf.
Yeah, they pop them off a lampshade, don't they? We talk of Jimmy White, Neil Robertson, Perry Munns years and years ago. So many good left-handers.
You can go on Mark Williams, Judd Trump, Mark Allen.
Found the gap in between that cluster of reds, so this one loose one that's available. Running through, he's going to hit the second red a little bit thick, so he's got to be careful here. He might push the black into a safe position here in potting this red.
Yeah, and for that reason he's screwing it back, because he has the pink and blue available. But it's not a good chance just yet. They're all sort of covering each other, these reds, even though they're open slightly. I think he's overhit that by quite a way. He was playing for
20.
the red to the right, for the left middle pocket. New cloth, obviously on the table, now that we've just got that one table in the Crucible arena. It's the shot before where he ran slightly out of position,
Hawkins,
but
20.
he hasn't left anything. Always nice when you miss one, if you can get them safe. Once he missed it, no idea where that red was going to finish.
In his pre-match interview, Barry Hawkins suggested that he needed to compete in the break building department. He felt that he had to win frames at one visit, and that's the only thing that's been lacking from Barry Hawkins this week. His safety play has been pretty good, but he's playing against the master in the safety department. So I believe he's going to have to push the boat out a little bit more in this match by scoring the more heavy of the two if he can.
And of course it also takes a little bit of getting used to, because you've got so far to walk to the table when you're down to the one table situation. When there's two tables, you don't have very far to walk to get to the table. But the beauty about it is there's no distractions whatsoever, and I think it's great for the people watching at home, because you can't hear the noise from the other table.
He's not playing the cross double, he's just concerned about whether the red would cannon into the black or the red to the left of the black. That's why he's playing an alternative shot, the two cushion escape. This is always a dangerous shot for me. Thorne was the first one to play this very, very well. If you catch these full ball, it can hurt you. But boy, how good has he played that? They're so good at that shot these days, Ben, isn't
I think John tapped the table. The crowd acknowledged that that is such a tough shot to execute. The one he's just pulled off there, to judge that is so difficult. Barry would like to knock this red that's gone up the other end of the table back up. Keep the frame normal. Yeah, it's a snooker player's pet hate when the reds start to go up towards the yellow, green and brown, and the safety area is back behind the black spot. He just pointed to the red there like a possible plan. He'd be playing the safety shot. In fact, he's just doing it off the reds to the right of the bunch. Just a little bit short of pace. He was trying to block the path down the right side of the table as we look at it, and he hasn't. So it's the player that can get the white near the cushion and in behind the yellow and brown that's going to gain the advantage here. That's what they're looking for.
Yes, I was watching the afternoon session between Mark Selby and Ding Junhui, and I thought this back cushion was playing quite soft. It wasn't getting the bounce it has in the previous few days here at the Crucible. New table, of course, new cushions, new cloth. It will speed up as the days go on. I thought it was running a little bit slower than it has been the rest of the fortnight.
See, that was an interesting shot, played with lots of side. Had he have played that plain ball, the white would have careered into the reds. This needs a thin contact, the one he's playing. And he's got it. Very good. Excellent. Well, John's had a look at 3 reds as we show you this shot. Now, the natural angle would have taken that white into the reds, but with the right-hand side, it just gave it a completely different angle. He looked at the 3 reds in the middle of the pack, but I don't think they're a plant. I think they're going to the right of the pocket. Yeah, you can see it there. That was quite an interesting tactical battle at the moment.
Thin, if that makes any sense, because if he'd have potted it centre of the pocket, the cue ball would have been nicely on the black, but because he potted it thin, the cue ball had a little bit more pace into it, and you can see he didn't mean to leave Barry Hawkins that red just in case he missed it, but now he's got the same problem. Can he get to the black?
Well, if he's going to play off the right side of it, he's going to need everything that the referee's got underneath that table. Paul Collier, he's going to need the spider with the extension there on his cue, and even that, he won't be able to see what he's doing with this, because you just have to judge this. This is quite awkward. Bridging over 3 balls. Look at that. Well, he didn't mean to pot it. He played the safety shot, and it's a pretty good one. Have a look at that shot. Isn't it amazing, Willie? They've been trying to get in behind the yellow and brown, and John does it from that position. Amazing.
He'd love to get to the red that's tight on the cushion behind the black, but the red on the left-hand side may stop that. I'm not sure he can miss the kiss on the red on the left-hand side, Dennis, can he, to get to that red on the back cushion?
No, but he could go off the back cushion and get to that red, Willie, if he hits, let's see, 1, 2, 3 cushions. So that's the one he's playing for. Needs perfect judgment, though. There's the first, second cushion. There's the third cushion. He's coming towards it. Just missed it, but he might catch the other one. Doesn't want to slip by it.
Foul. And a miss. John Higgins 4.
Because the table he feels he's playing a little slower as well, he gave that a little bit more meat than he wanted to, and obviously he's red into the green pocket. It may be available. Not too sure whether they can get past the pink. Looks like he's taking it into the middle, not the corner. He'll be kissing into the other red as well. Well, he's played the stun shot. Played it nicely, so this is the first scoring chance for John Higgins.
if you want.
Maybe trying to get the black back on its
6.
spot now. Should be able to do it from this.
Seven.
So there's not many loose reds. 2 or 3 that may be available.
$14. $15.
He's got such a compact style, John Higgins, and
21.
heads perfectly still when he delivers the cue. Just watch the head.
$22.
And this cannon, if it works out, will certainly give him a chance to knock in a sizable contribution here.
Yes, it definitely could be a frame winner if he splits these 4 reds up. But he'd be disappointed now putting him in the frame.
$29. $30. $37.
Just having to run away towards the blue or green and brown, looking at the angle he's left on this cutback. It's always nice if you can stay in around the pink and black. Make it as easy for yourself as possible. So
38.
no problem with potting the green and getting onto that red to the left of the pink. Got the perfect angle to do that. One of the game's great break builders. He's made 669 centuries. I think there's
41.
only Ronnie O'Sullivan and Stephen Hendry ahead of him. Won't be thinking about a century
42.
at the moment. He'll want to make enough to win the frame, and he's going to have to play a little cannon on the red that's just to the right of the pink, and that's very delicate. That he's just looking at the angle there. Has to be very precise with this. He's hit it thinner than he intended. He's still on the red, but he wanted it a little bit thicker, as we show you.
49.
And this is not a gimme, this one. This needs good cueing. In needs the black, a red, and one more colour. Not going to be easy from here. Might be able to flick this red out if he pots this. Not just done for the one next to the pink, which is ideal that red would pot there.
57.
It looked as if it was tied up with the pink. So check the scoreboard, just this one more colour, and it's a good start for the former 4 times champion. He's looking good here, Willie.
Yes, it's a good contribution, this. He was kept off the table for the early part of the frame. He won the safety battle with an excellent snooker in behind the yellow. Created this chance. Let's win in the first frame.
63. John Higgins, 63.
Well, he would have liked to have knocked that in and made certain. I would think it's enough to take the opening frame, but still a chance for Barry here.
1.
The yellow's still in a perfect position to get in behind if Barry puts the white in the right spot. And that looks pretty good to me. He can come off that red with a bit of side. I mean, he could play behind the black if he wants. He's maybe gone a bit too far to get in behind the yellow. He'd have to play a little stun shot to do that. So it's behind the black he's playing.
Barry Hawkins, 8.
Well, that's one of the 2 snookers he needs. So it's far from over this for him. Barry's still in with a chance here.
Got to be a little bit careful with the pace he plays this. Good hit from John. Couldn't play it any harder than that, just in case he missed it. He might have left a free ball. Usually, I mean, against somebody like Higgins, he needs 2 snookers, but you probably have to get 5 or 6 snookers to get John Higgins to miss at 2 of them. The second one, and this is a little bit more difficult than the first one because he can't get to the right hand side cushion.
Well, it's a biggish swerve to go around the black and hit the cushion, so could quite easily slip around the back of this one. And he doesn't want to hit it too hard. If he missed it, he could leave a free ball. No, that's superb. He might just be in behind the black again here.
It's always nice to see the big breaks and that, but to see proper hard match play snooker like this, it can be just as exciting because Barry Hawkins is trying his hardest to get these 2 snookers required. He's already had 2 of them. He's got 3 there, but this is the easiest of the 3 to hit.
No, surely not. Almost knocked the brown in, but that's put the brown out of commission now for getting a snooker behind. But the yellow's still sitting in a nice spot. Oh, has he fluked it? That was a total mishit from Barry that time. And a chance for John pot this long red and secure this opening frame. That last shot that John knocked in, he's terrific at that, but I'll tell you what, Barry Hawkins is one of the best I've ever seen at playing that sort of shot, knocking a long ball in and going round the table.
Yeah, especially when they're playing them plain ball. I agree with you, Dennis. These two players, you're going to see a lot of that plain ball potting. The modern day player doesn't necessarily put the side on to help the pots these days as they used to in the olden days. So a lot easier to play plain ball on these super fine cloths.
14. $19. John Higgins, 25 on the frame.
Some great tactical play in this opening frame, but it was that earlier break of 63 that paved the way for John Higgins to win it. He leads 1-0.
Thank you. The second frame. John Higgins to break.
Eight frames being played in this first session. Three sessions of 8, one of possible 9 frames. As we always talk about in commentary, it's always a case of winning each session if you can, or if you're going to have a bad session, make sure your session's only bad by 5-3 to stay close in the match. Barry Hawkins has got this cut into the middle. It's not a particularly good break off from John, that. I think he can get through to cut it in. Can't quite tell from our commentary position. Must be playing it in the corner. Oh, fabulous spot. Fabulous spot.
There's the tournament long pot success rate, so he's just ahead, and that last shot tells you why. He's just too near the cushion to be able to pot the pink and go straight into the, or pot the blue and go straight into the pink, I should say. Just had to play for that one that's closest to the black, and I think he's gone a bit too far. Looking at his body language, he just stopped in his tracks there, and there you can see why. As I said, the terrific long red, he was a bit unlucky to finish as close to the cushion as he did, otherwise he would have potted the blue and went straight into the pink. Now that's left John a free shot.
Barry Hawkins, 6.
That was played a little bit quicker than he probably should have done. Should have just given that one a little bit more thought.
One.
The attempt at the stun run through didn't quite get it just right. He needed to come through about another 8 or 9 inches. So he'd like to play into the bunch here. He may just play for that one remaining loose red on the outside now because he's so thin. Well, he's played into them.
I'll tell you what, that was unlucky, because this shot with so much right hand side on these cloths, I can't tell you how difficult that is. And he's very close to this, but he might be able to screw back and touch the reds and get on the black. He's thought better of it. He's going for the safety shot.
Yeah, once he'd hit the pack at that speed, Dennis, so you'd think he'd had an easier shot than this, wouldn't you? Because he as you rightly say, the black was a tough pot. John Higgins is unbelievable safety player. He's also very, very good at doubles, and that was almost a tempter.
John Higgins, 8.
Not quite the snooker. And with the blue in between the green and brown, there's a lovely target there. If the white was just 6 inches to the right of where it is now, every chance of getting a snooker the way those 3 colours are placed. Just a little bit too narrow. This is better. Yeah, there's quite a margin for error to get a good safety shot and every chance of a snooker. Referee just making sure he knows where the white is just in case there's a foul and it has to be replaced. And the brown's in the way of just going into the side of the bunch, the left side. It's going to have to go twice across the table to land into the reds that side. Oh, that's pretty good. Not quite snookered, but I mentioned earlier there about John Higgins knocking long pots in. He's playing a safety shot here. He can't quite see that one for the right corner. Now, one good telling safety shot here. Although John's coming around to look at this long red. I mean, he has been potting really well throughout this year's championship, but that would be a big risk. He's looked at the long one to get on the black, but I think a good safety shot here. And if he gets in behind those 3 colours again, he could cause a problem for Barry. Just a little bit too hard. Maybe tempted this time, Willie.
Yeah, he can get around the back of the black, Dennis, can't he? The 3 reds on the right-hand side, the middle one of those 3 reds. He's going to have to play a little bit of stun, though, to get that gap. If he plays it plain ball, he'll probably cannon into the red to the left of the black, so he's got to stun it a little bit. Played it with a lot of side rather than the stunt, but still managed to find the gap.
Well, John's got a red. If he puts that red, that's the angle he'll take. He'll go way back up the table, but he can find that gap there.
This time he won't be trying to get the white on the ball cushion. He'll play this as a shot for something, you know, either try and get onto the blue or pink and potting this red and going around the angles as Dennis suggested. I was surprised he missed that. He's been very good at that kind of shot all tournament so far.
There was just a distraction, wasn't there, with the colour there he was leaning over. See, that green was just putting him off slightly. Well, that was a bad mistake. I mean, Barry's so good at that type of shot, and when you miss-hit it, that's the sort of thing that can happen. He didn't find the path. He didn't get near the pot. Just have another look at this. I mean, if he had a potted that, he might have got the gap, but he's put John right in amongst them here. What a chance.
Go around the back of the black to put the black into the same pocket. Not too sure whether the black will still be available when he pots this. I don't think it's on its spot at the moment. He has a nice angle on this black to move those three reds away. Try and open things up at this end of the table. Well, things must be already open. Otherwise he'd have played to move those three reds.
Eight.
Yes, I know he's okay, but having seen where the black's gone now, okay, the black's still available into the middle pockets at the moment, but not into the corners.
Right.
That's why I thought he might free the black spot with that first shot on the black. Doesn't have a great angle on the pink. He's probably thinking of just playing the cannon into the black again now, just to hold the white. He'd love not to play that because he doesn't really want to move balls around and put them possibly into a safe position. He may have missed a trick. That first black, he could have moved those three reds away. Still okay, just
15.
The only problem is the blue's off its spot, because the angle he's got on this red. He's going to have to play up towards the blue and the bulk colours here. And I'm not sure if that blue passes the green.
16.
If not, he felt he got a slight heavy contact there. Without the kick, the blue would have been much easier. He would have been a lot closer to it. But maybe it doesn't. He's taking the brown. Having to work very hard for these.
20.
I think this red is possibly dead straight. Yeah, not much angle on that, so it's going to have to be another good brown. So one good shot here, and he could have a great chance. No, not this time. Where's the brown going? Oh.
John Higgins, 21.
He couldn't get himself into the ideal position. He was having to work all the way around the table for those points there, and you can't keep knocking them in.
Well, this red passes the brown, but you can't really see the left-hand jaw of this pocket. But you can play it relatively slowly, knowing the brown's going to be sitting there for him, or even hold for the black. Decided to make sure of the red and go up for the brown, so he needs a bit of cue ball power here. Just went in off the far jaw. Not bound to get onto a red from this shot. Yeah, that's not been played very well.
Five.
The white would have been slightly farther off the cushion. You'd fancy him knocking this in, but he's got plenty to do with the cue ball as well in potting this red. He's a big bounce.
6.
He hasn't got it. So if the yellow passes, he may take it on. Still going to be a long way away from the next red though when potting this yellow. Now does he have an angle on the red to get onto the black in the same pocket? If he does, this is a good chance.
8. Nine.
I think he's got the perfect angle here on the black. Yeah. Oh, he bounced it into them, and that's end of break. Yeah, the fact that the white bounced there just took it away. He seemed to stun it. He needed a lot more topspin rather than stun on it.
16.
I can only presume it must have been some sort of kick, Dennis, because both balls took off there. Everything's covering one another there, all these 6 reds, or nothing will pass. So he needs a good safety shot.
Yeah, he can do it off the red that's just between the 2 reds and the black. He can stun up past the pink and get in behind green and blue.
Barry Hawkins,
That's
16.
pretty good. I say it's pretty good. There's one red will pot and John will have to take it on, but there's a slight angle here. If this goes in, he could finish on brown or black here, but this requires good cueing. It was Barry's shot. He should have got over behind the green and blue there, because the way John's potting, you just can't leave him a shot like that. But this is not straightforward. It'll pay dividends if this goes in. Just about. Chances there now for possibly taking a 2-0 advantage.
That was a fabulous pot on the black. He had to play a little stun run through on the black, knowing that he was bound to be leaving these 2 reds, but just went in off the jaw. And with the black being available into this corner, all 4 reds are available. every chance he's going to be leading 2-0 in a few moments.
And I don't like saying this, but what John Higgins is doing now, Willie, he's not making any
16.
careless shots. Over the last 4 or 5 seasons, he would play really well, and then all 17. Of a sudden he'd miss the easiest of shots. He's cut that out of his game, and that's why he's back winning lots of tournaments.
$24.
So red, colour red.
25.
$39 in front, so just the red needed. He doesn't want to do what he did last frame. He wants to pop both these reds to keep Barry in his chair. Applause from this crowd, knowing that was frame ball. As long as he doesn't do anything too flash with the red, he should pop the red, and that'll keep Barry sitting in his chair.
40. John Higgins 40. And a frame.
Barring snookers, John Higgins and the Barons conceded, so John Higgins has leveled the scores at 1-all. Just when I was closing that last frame, because I made the mistakes, and it was 1-all. Of course, it's 2-0 to John Higgins. So breaks of 63 and 40. Barry Hawkins needs to get a foothold in this match very quickly. He's not settled yet.
Settle down now, please. The third frame. Barry Hawkins to break.
It's just an okay break off that. You know, you want to try and get it further over in behind the green and tight to the cushion. Oh, that was a poor shot. That was what you would call a mishit. He had so much side on that, John. He didn't allow the throw and brought the red up with the white. So Barry's poor break-off shot has worked to his advantage here. Now the second session of this semi-final will be played tomorrow afternoon, and then 2 sessions the following day.
1.
Three 8 frames, and then a possible 9 in the final session. Just about okay. He wanted to be a bit further away from the cushion just to make it easier to control the next positional shot, but should be okay.
7.
Doesn't have to go fully into the pack here, because if he hits the outside red, there's a red that pots into the opposite corner to the black, so he'd probably just be moving 2 reds into play here.
Barry Hawkins 7.
Well, he took his eye off the pot there because he didn't cannon the red that Willie had mentioned. He was trying to just flick the outside red, and he hit the other red. So that was the cause of missing the black, just concentrating more on what he was doing with the white. And if he can get an angle on the black here, John, there'll be reds going all over the table. You'd think he'd screw back to the cushion with the cue ball. Yeah, you can see where he's striking. And now off the cushion and straight into the reds. It could go all over the place here. And the reds went all over the table, but he was hoping the white would have stayed up amongst them.
8.
Didn't quite get into the heart of the pack there, did he? Just caught that red at the edge of the pack, which opened them nicely, but he needed to hit it full ball. This is a thin cut. The brown's available should he get it. Well, Barry Hawkins made a mess at his previous visit. John Higgins made a real mess there. Now, Barry Hawkins, for me, has not settled yet, Dennis, at all. He looks very nervy out there, Barry Hawkins. This is a great chance now to score heavily.
Yeah, he's got to make John Higgins pay for that poor shot. Far too thin on the red. If he pots the red, he misses everything.
One. Six. Seven.
Well, that was a better shot than it looked. He had so much right-hand side on that to get down that side of the table. Now he can drop the blue and then bring the pink and red into play. When I say that, the pink's still okay. It's available into the left middle pocket, but the blue is in the clear now.
12.
To both corner, or to both middle pockets. It'll go to both corners, but he won't want to be playing for that.
Barry Hawkins, 12.
You can just feel it there. Barry's, as I mentioned earlier, just not settled at all so far this evening. Usually very, very good with the rest. Nothing will give Barry Hawkins more confidence than John Higgins missing 2 easy shots on the trot.
Well, I'll tell you what, at the moment, Barry's just lost a little bit of his timing with his cue action. And when you lose a bit of timing, you lose a bit of confidence. So, not good signs to miss that by such a margin. John's missed a couple of easy ones as well, but I'll tell you what, knowing John Higgins, he'll want to capitalise on that bad miss from Barry.
I spoke to Barry after his victory yesterday against Steve Maguire, and he said he wasn't very pleased with his form, and of course he's probably gone into this match worrying about that he didn't play particularly well against Steve Maguire. But those three misses he's had there, that you can see how concerned he is. He's looking very bemused and he's sitting in his chair.
He just made sure of the pot that time. Pink was always going to be available. He's looking at the blue. Just means with the blue he's got to go in and out of the balk area, but with the brown off its spot, there's no problem with that.
It's a good job that white pulled up because he didn't play anywhere near there. It's a big target now. If he gets nicely on the blue, he'll be playing that little cannon into... There's a V of those reds there, those 4 reds. If you can go right into that V, they'll split perfectly. And he'll bring pink and black into play. Might not play it off this one, but he has got the perfect angle to do so.
That's the shot that Willie was saying, and he couldn't have played it much better. Let's have a look. He was
15.
Well, he was half an inch away from where you said, Willie.
$16.
He won't be playing. Well, he might have to play the cannon again because just to hold the white. I'm not too sure whether he can miss the kiss on the red coming down. Could nicely. This is a great chance, and this will hurt Barry Hawkins. He's had every chance, and
21.
2 or 3 easy chances. He'll be very worried at the moment.
$22.
Yeah, he's just at 79% at the moment. John's not in the 90s just yet. I mean, there's an awful long way to go, 4 sessions, but you never, as we keep saying, you never settle till you get the first frame on the board. And I don't think Barry would be too concerned. He's more concerned with how far
29.
he missed that red by. That's something he's going to have to put straight out of his mind.
There's a big difference though, Dennis, isn't it, when you're sitting there and your opponent's made 80, 80, 80 and winning at one visit. But I mean, Barry's missed 2 or 3 balls there. That's what's going to concern him. It was not the 3-0 scoreline, it's just the way he's playing.
$37.
John overscrewed that one. He was playing for the 2 reds between the pink spot and the black, and he had this one as an alternate. But it's so important for John to really stamp his authority here and punish that mistake if, well, you can't see him. Missing the chance here. 27 in front already. You'll only need the 2 reds with 2 high-valued colours. And that was a terrific shot because there wasn't much angle there, but these lively cloths, it's amazing 45. How you can force the ball over. He doesn't want to risk the other one to get on the black. It would go, but he wasn't 46. Quite sure.
$51. $52.
Yeah, he'll be delighted with John Higgins because he made a few 59. Errors and a few misses, but it was Barry who let him off the hook. And yeah, one more frame before the mid-session interval. He could do with that just to open his account. Doesn't matter about that. I think Barry will stay in his seat. I'm just looking to see. Yeah, he nods to the referee. So worrying times for Barry Hawkins at the start of this semi-final. John Higgins has played 3 and he's won 3.
Thank you. Frame 4. John Higgins to break.
And so far this evening, Hazel is not used to it at all. His highest break has only been 20 in the opening 3 frames. Now, as I mentioned to Dennis in commentary in the previous frame, if your opponent's made 90, 90, 90, you sit there thinking, well, I haven't had a good chance yet. But he's had chances in every frame, and that's what will worry him. Just has to score. He needs to get a 50-odd break very quickly, otherwise this session could be very unsuccessful for Barry Hawkins supporters. Now, if you were going well, you'd open these bunch up and play the cue ball back to baulk, but he may decide just to play this thin. Well, he's played it quite thick. Needs to miss the green. Now, if John Higgins pots this red and stops it absolutely where the red is, if it's dead straight, he could play that, and there's a gap between those 2 reds to get onto the black. And the fact that he's 3-0 in front, Dennis, this could be a tempter.
Well, he's a very attacking player, but I'll tell you what, he's got to get this, because if it doesn't go in, he's leaving Barry right in amongst them. Key shot. Terrific cueing. Terrific cueing from the 4 times world champion there. Kept that head so still on that shot.
Eight. 9.
Well, decided against holding for the black there. Anything that worries me about the pink, it's going to be out of commission, I think, unless it goes on the green spot. Little surprise he didn't hold for the black off that previous red.
Yeah, I think it's that red to the left of the black that he was concerned with, and he immediately has played on that. And he can clear the black spot area completely now.
$15. $16. $23. $24.
A little bit careless there from John. You can see he dropped his arms there because he wanted to be on the 3/4 ball black, not a straight black. So he's going to have to play a deep screw now for the one remaining red that's loose on the left-hand side, whereas you'd like to drop behind the 2 reds that are just above the black there, but he's played it nicely, that one. We'll have to go for the blue this time.
31. $32.
Yeah, that's where he'd love to put the white anywhere near that circle. He's got a choice of reds to get onto the black. Still okay.
37.
He's got quite a margin for error there.
38.
From that picture you can clearly see there's 2 reds available, so this should be at least a 50 break from this position.
45.
There could be an awful lot more.
$46.
Yeah, John's made breaks of 63, 40 and 59, but he's yet to win a frame with 1 visit. Barry's had a few chances. And this is the sort of thing you've got to do in the semi-final of a World Championship. If you've got your opponent 3-0 behind, you want to win the next frame with 1 visit. And you can head up
54
for your cup of tea. John will go to the dressing room. Barry will go to the practice room, I feel.
Yes, Terry Griffiths will have to do his work in the intervals, get him into a better frame of mind than he is at the moment, because at the moment, every chance he's had, he's not taken it.
61. $62.
Just looking at John's centuries this season, 47 he's had. He had 41 last season. You don't start thinking about a century break until you've made enough to win the frame. And he's not that far away from
69.
doing that.
Just this red, Dennis. Oh, missed it. Can you believe that? That was frame ball.
John Higgins, 69.
I mentioned earlier in the match that over a few years John all of a sudden would miss an easy ball. That's exactly what he's done. He hasn't done that for ages, and that was just a lapse in concentration there. Okay, still favoured for this frame, but well, he should have been on his way to the dressing room now.
Well, Barry's looking at a plant here rather than the 1 red that's loose, and if he does get the plant, which it looks on, the one just below the pink there. This will give him a chance to pinch this frame. Okay, 69 points behind. But wouldn't this boost his confidence? When you haven't made a break above 20 in the opening 3 frames, to suggest that he can try and clear up, it's hard to do, but he knows now that this will hurt John Higgins if he can do just that.
Mind, we had a few oohs and ahs from the crowd. He wobbled that black, did Barry there. And the fact that he didn't pop the black cleanly into the pocket has left him slightly hampered here. Good recovery there.
Yeah, that was something that John Parrott mentioned in the studio. Every time he gets in, he seems to be awkward. Well, he's still a little bit awkward now, dead straight on this black. I think the red below the pink will pop. Certainly the one at the bottom of the 3 does, but still he just can't get on the ball properly at the minute.
16.
Could work to his advantage here because the red next to the pink is tied up. He's got the awkward red, the left side of the table, which is not all that bad for a left-hander. So this, as long as he judges the cannon correctly, will free the pink and the red. He's got the pink, but he's just running away. And I think he can avoid the yellow, you know, and get back up to the reds. So another key shot coming up here. Playing ball will take him past the yellow when he pots this pink. Yeah, as you said, I mean, this is the best of 33 frames, but this is it could be a big mini turning point in this semi-final.
23.
Yeah, John will be sitting there kicking himself, thinking it was such an easy red for frame ball and to go 4-0 in front. Didn't have to get so close to the black, just made sure he popped the red. Now the work starts as far as Barry Hawkins is concerned. As Dennis mentioned, being a left-hander is not too bad, but he's got to get on that last red perfectly.
31.
Now has he got the angle to get over? I've put the other white up. He'd love to get somewhere near there being a left-hander. I think he can do that.
And if he does get there, Dennis, would you risk playing for the pink off this last red?
Well, if not the pink, certainly
39.
for the blue, it would be much easier to get to the yellow from the blue. Boy, what a frame this would be to pinch.
Yes, especially as he couldn't pot a ball in the opening 3 frames. This has been remarkable. High break of only 20 before this frame.
45.
Can he pot the 6 remaining colours to pinch the frame?
$47.
Not often you make a 69 break and lose a frame. But that could happen here. How has he finished on the brown? Oh, it's awkward. If he screws back, the white's going towards the middle pocket. It couldn't have finished any awkwarder there, so just be careful of that middle pocket. So he stunned it in, which 54. Means he's got to go up and down the table. Well, he's good with the rest. He's going to have to be
59.
Here. What a roar from the crowd if he can pot these two colours.
Such as the tension on the blue, you can see how he mishit that. He wanted to be 2 feet further left, so he didn't need the rest. He's going to have to swing this round. Yes, that wasn't the bad shot, it was the bad shot on the blue. John Higgins will be absolutely amazed that he's coming back to the table with a chance to be 4-0 in front. What a strange frame this has been, Dennis.
Mind you, after missing the red that John missed, you know, the pink's not a gimme. You'd think he'd knock it in, but bit of pressure on this.
John Higgins started with 69, Hawkins declined with 59. It wasn't enough. Mr. Pink could be absolutely distraught going into the interval, trailing by 4 frames to 0.
Okay, thank you. Frame 5. Barry Hawkins to break.
Yes, Hazel, he could do with this opening frame. And how many times have we seen the mid-session interval change things around? Both players got a great reception back to the table, but probably more so Barry, the fact that he's 4-0 behind.
Even though John Higgins missed a few easy balls in the last frame of the first mini-session, he'd have forgot about that already because he won it. Barry Hawkins, of course, is going to have to try and forget all the misses in that opening 4 frames. Try and win at least 2 of these remaining 4. Can't afford to lose this session 3-1 and go 7-1 behind.
Not the best safety shot from John, and an early test to see if Barry Hawkins has been to the practice room because he's faced with a long straight red. It's a bit awkward to get on the black. There's a few reds blocking the path, but he's just off straight, so he could play it with topspin, but this will tell us if the timing is back. No. Now where's that red going to finish? Where's the white going to finish? Early chance for John Higgins.
I just wonder why. I mean, the pink pots, Dennis, and the black. I mean, he was trying to screw back for the blue there for some reason. Well, certainly for the black.
Now, what I didn't understand, because he's so good at playing that shot with topspin, you know, he would have headed up back towards the blue, but you know, he plays it much better when he plays it with the run through.
So once again, John Higgins in first.
One.
And a great chance to get on the red that's on the black spot. That's what he'd be playing for. Yeah, he's run through with the cue ball. He's perfectly on that red that's near the black spot. Play for the black. It's back nicely in the open. It's an early chance.
Seven.
Got a little bit to do with the cue ball here. I'm not too sure whether it's thin enough to be able to play a stun to keep the white. He'd like to get the white where it is now, but I'm not too sure he can do that from this position. To judge the pace just right, and he's done just that. Amazing, 1,000 balls potted from John Higgins, and Barry Hawkins only 5 balls behind, but more importantly, Barry Hawkins needs a few frames, not points.
15. $22. $23.
Didn't get the cannon as he intended. I think he's ran out of position here. He wanted to hit
30.
That a little bit fuller and it would have opened a lot nicer. Still a bit unlucky not to be on one, but it's end of break.
John Higgins, 30.
And even that shot, John will be a little disappointed because he should have been in behind the green there near the cushion. He made the return for Barry a lot easier, and he's taken full advantage there and played a more telling safety. Well, he's looking at the side cushion and just nestling on the red. It's near the right corner pocket, but he might leave some sort of pot on if he doesn't get this absolutely right. He's gone the other side of it. That is very, very careless from John Higgins there. But it was his previous shot that wasn't a good safety that left the door open for Barry to play a better safety, and this is his reward now.
One.
Trying to get onto the next red and avoid kissing the red on the side cushion in getting onto the black. Should be able to do that nicely. Okay, and still need the rest. Just making sure the black's available, and it clearly is.
7.
Well, they can reach it without the rest. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball here, just play it plain ball.
8. $15. $16.
Now a confident Barry Hawkins will be playing the cannon into the bunch, but he can easily get onto the red he's nearest now, to get the cue ball where it is now, but he may not get a better chance to split these reds than this. Barry Hawkins, unlike a lot of other players, so you think he's going to have to go up for the blue and get the right angle on the blue. Sometimes when you get the right angle, you have to play the cannon. I'm not saying he's not going to get the right angle again now, but if he finishes straight on the blue, he's in trouble.
$24.
He's left that shot we were talking about at the last visit, but this is a little bit more difficult. He's about 6 inches higher up the table than he was before.
Played it very well. It's worth another look at the cannon. Although I said he's played
31.
it very well. The first one's just a little awkward into the right middle pocket, but he's got a gap to go through for the blue. Just put everything into this. Concentration after that lovely split. Yeah, he's okay. Couldn't hold for the blue. It was always going to be available.
Never rains, but it pours sometimes. And that's another
38.
very disappointing positional shot from Barry. Okay, this red cuts, but it's a very, very fine cut. Need that white to stop, 8 to 10 inches before it did. Wouldn't have a lot of idea where the cue ball was going to end up here. He's going to have to play it twice across. Well, didn't even attempt the pot.
Barry Hawkins, 38.
So at least he's back into the frame. He needs to score a lot more heavier.
Good chance here to get a good cue ball, doubling this red back across. He hasn't got a good cue ball. And not only has he not got a good cue ball, he's pushed that red near the pocket. Black only available into one corner pocket. And he's played this beautifully. Very nicely controlled.
8.
Just got that white running loose a little bit at the minute. This time he's got perfect on the blue, so Barry Hawkins should definitely win this frame from this position. He's 17 points in front. These 3 reds in open play would be more than enough to get a frame on the board.
14. $15.
And it looks as if the mid-session interval is going to change things around, because it came at the right time, because
20.
Barry should have pinched the 4th frame, but he had plenty of time to forget about that.
21.
John was in first, but just split the reds and didn't quite work out when he was on 30.
26.
He'll be feeling much better now.
Yes, and he wants to make sure he pots the square really well. John Higgins will be carrying on.
34. $35.
As Willie mentioned, he said Barry could do with
42.
2 of the 4 frames left. Now that he's won this first one, he'd be looking for 3
44
of this little mini session.
$47. $51. $56.
Not bothered about playing for the
Barry
black.
Hawkins on the front.
He'll be absolutely delighted that he's got his first frame on the board, but he's still got a little ways to go in this opening session. He still trails John Higgins by 4 frames to 1.
Settle down now, please. Frame 6. John Higgins to break.
John Higgins breaking off in frame 6. He now knows Barry Hawkins has got a foothold in the match, so he'll be trying to win at least 2 of these remaining 3 frames as well. Very interesting stage of this mini first session. Thing is, when you are 4-0 in front at the interval, you'll be thinking, well, you'd be very disappointed if you didn't win more than 5-3.
Yeah, even over a long match like this, your mindset, it's not a bad thing to think to yourself, if I can keep sharing the sessions, you know, you're going to get to the final. Easier said than done, but psychology plays such a big part in this game.
For the two players, Barry Hawkins has definitely struggled to find the top cushion in this match so far. A little fortunate to have left him hampered on the brown. Just wonder whether he can cut this in and go around the back of the black. He may decide to take the pot on here. Yeah, he's playing to pot it and go around the back of the black. Good pot. Use that white to pull up or kiss the yellow full wall. Anywhere but there.
Ramble. John Higgins 1.
Should be okay off the left side of the table and just into the reds behind the pink. I mean, he could play it to land on the red, you know, the two reds to the left of the black. He could land on that, but that's slightly more risky. That's what he's faced with there. Now this is a little bit more difficult than what he's trying to land on here. You'll have to be very precise with this. I don't think that's going to reach.
Foul. The miss. John Higgins 4.
I mean, it's a wider target to go into the ones behind the pink. He's probably thinking, well, if I misjudge it, I might leave one into the right corner.
Okay, John.
See, he wants to hit this red from behind. And that's not going to reach again.
Foul. The miss. John Higgins 4.
He can have as many goes as he wants because he's snookered. 3 misses and lose the frame doesn't apply here.
Okay, John.
That's a better pace, much better.
Once again, Barry Hawkins can't find the top cushion at the minute, and you can see with his facial expression he's not too pleased with his safety department at the moment. Big target now behind green and brown. Barry Hawkins just wondering whether it's worth having a go at this. It's tough to get back into balk and avoid the double kiss, so he may well take this on. Oh, how close was that? You can't believe it, that was so close.
Well, normally the wobble and run away from the pocket, but it was so close, as you said, Willie, that it's just stayed over the pocket. Wobbled about 4 times there. Early chance for John Higgins here.
Eight. Nine.
Not the best from John there. He played for the blue, believe it or not. He overhit it by that much. Oh dear me. Now that's worrying signs.
John Higgins, 9.
Now that you'd have to say is a lapse in concentration. Now just slipping back into missing a few balls that he shouldn't miss, and it's not the best time to be doing it for John Higgins and all these supporters.
One.
If Barry needed a little bit of confidence, that nothing breeds confidence into a player than your opponent missing. Now the 2 reds above the black he'd like to get onto here, but if there can be a good thing about missing the easy yellow that John Higgins just did, he's put the black safe. You're probably trying to get onto the yellow off this next red.
4.
Either break into the bunch or move the red away from the black. Decided to play for the blue this time.
5. Ten. Eleven.
Now, can he get onto this next red in such a way he can pot the red and move the red away from the black? He's left that perfect angle now to do exactly that. And if this turns out, this is a great chance to win another frame.
17. 18. 25.
Still got a bit to do here, but John Higgins, this shot here, he's just stunning down for the blue. I mean, to hit it that hard and then to miss the yellow. It's things like
Cameron's
that
got a light
that
on the front. Can you put it away, please?
Turn matches around. Referee Paul Collier just
33.
asking someone, I don't know whether it's a phone with a light on it to take a photograph, but they're warned not to do that before the match starts.
He played a half ball black in the previous frame into the bunch. You can leave exactly that same shot again. If this cannon works out nice. I think that maybe the bottom red of the cluster of 5 pots into the opposite corner that he's playing the black in. He certainly shouldn't have finished straight, which you can see from that picture. Absolutely straight.
That was all he could do there, so it means this
41.
pot's a tricky one coming up, and a very key one as well. That's much better for 42. Barry Hawkins. We talk about timing. Well, he couldn't have hit that any better. So he's growing in confidence. Beautifully played. It's worth another look at that one. And I'll tell you what, he
49.
really is going to make John Higgins suffer in the seat for a couple of mistakes he's made here.
$50.
Yeah, they were talking about timing, John and Hazel in the studio, and now he's getting through the ball a lot better.
57.
And that comes with confidence as well, when you've got your opponent starting to miss and you're starting to pot a few. That puts him 40 points in front, so just one more red after this
58.
black. When he was 4-0 behind at the interval, he'd be thinking, well, look, as long as you win at least 2 of the frames, I'll be happy to get out of this session. But now he'd be thinking, I've got every chance of being all square at the interval.
$65.
All of a sudden, position's becoming easy now. He's got the timing right. He's got the pace of the table. It took him a while.
It has to be said, though, again, that John Higgins has let
71.
him off the hook. You still have to knock them in, but it makes things very interesting here. Doesn't really
Barry
matter
Hawkins,
about
71.
that. You wouldn't think John's coming to the table, but it should be 4-2. Three snookers needed at the moment.
1.
The red's not in a bad spot to get a snooker in behind the black, provided he pots the black, of course, and then he can send the red up somewhere near the green and brown. Seen Peter Ebden earlier in this year's Betfred World Championship need 4 snookers and win a frame against Stuart Bingham.
Eight.
I suppose the hardest snooker to hit would be if he can get the cue ball in behind the yellow, but I don't think he's going to play that this time. Or maybe he is. No, he's still in behind the black.
John Higgins, 8.
Just got to be a little bit careful here. The easier escape is down the left side of the table. He's got to make sure he doesn't miss the red and catch the pink. And that's why he's looking at the slightly more difficult side of the table to escape from the snooker. Can't really leave a free ball if he misses this side of it. And he's missed it by a long way.
Foul.
No miss called
Higgins
because
full.
it's at the snooker's required stage. Oh, that's a shocker to knock the black safe. Hawkins will be absolutely delighted to see that.
Albeit there wasn't as much pressure on it, but he knows now that John Higgins won't come back to the table. He'll be absolutely delighted, even though he's 4-2 behind.
Six.
Took him to frame 4 to make his highest break of 59. He improved on that with a 62 in frame 5. He's improved on it again with a 71 in this frame.
So
with a little bit of help from Barry Hawkins, John Higgins had it all his own way in the opening 4 frames. It's a different story now.
18.
I don't think he'll bother with the black, he's just making sure he where the cue ball was. So largely due to that break of 71, Barry Hawkins has closed the gap to within 2. He trails 4 frames to 2.
Thank you. Frame 7. Barry Hawkins to break.
Well, I think when you get to the latter stages, and certainly when you get to the final, the old adrenaline doesn't half help. It keeps you going, even if you are a little bit tired. It's a bit like when you've got a head cold. Sometimes you play better because it makes you concentrate more. It's where every snooker player wants to be. That turns professional. They want to be at the Crucible Theatre on a one-table situation. But at the moment, John has just lost the momentum. He's missing a few easy ones, and his safety's not as good as it normally is. And now we'll see how well Barry's feeling. This is a sort of a special that he can pull off, but he's dead straight, as you can see. Watch out, there's a hawk about. Terrific cueing.
No, Barry can only screw back off this red. I'd like to get onto the one that's just to the left of the black, but if he doesn't get on that one, he can get on the one that's behind the pack. So if he just gets where his left ear is now, that's where he'd like to finish on with the cue ball here. I don't think he's come too far for the one behind the pack, and also for the one to the left of the black, so he's really nowhere there.
6.
Just overscrewed that slightly. Needed to stop about there, but just run that extra 6 inches.
I think the way things are at the moment, John Higgins would settle for one of these last 2 frames. They can have a lie-in the morning, the second session at 2:30. Chance to get a decent night's sleep. A little bit of practice in the morning. You see, that is another poor safety shot from John Higgins. I mean, look where the cue ball is. I mean, more importantly, look where the red is, right over the pocket. So he's making things quite easy for Barry at the moment.
Quite easily get onto the pink, and he'll hope that the pink doesn't spot on its own spot, because if it goes onto the black spot, it'll be available into one of the corners. If he's on the pink in the corner, it's not where he played. So it all depends where the pink goes now after this next shot, whether it's going to be a chance to score heavily or not. With the black and those 2 reds tying the black up, it's not straightforward by any stretch of the imagination. A lot to do here.
Seven.
So it really needs one of the big colours in play. So you get top side of the blue into the pink, bring that into play.
8.
There's a slight chance, is it almost a plant on the 2 reds below the pink that may possibly free the black as well. But Barry's one of those that sometimes likes to pick off the loose reds, but surely he's got to bring the pink into play. Yeah, there's the plant not bringing the black into play as well. But unfortunately, didn't hit the pink full enough. It's amazing that he's played the correct shot there and it's cost him. Just look what happens to that little plant. It was kissing into the red and black, but he caught the pink just a fraction thin. This is a test of cueing, Dennis. This red in the middle.
potted one in the last frame. Okay, the white was away from the cushion. It was a cracking pot. This is far more difficult, but he can run through for the blue though. Oh, close. Where's the cue ball going? In fact, he would have liked
Barry Hawkins, 13.
White to have dropped in the middle pocket. But that was tough. But I don't think John's got a lot of angle here with this red. Oh, he had plenty of angle to get over for the balk colours.
One.
Now the pink's in the open. Well, he missed a yellow that was a lot easier than the one he's looking at now. In fact, he's round looking at the green. You'd normally play the yellow from this position, but I'm wondering if he's got that in the back of his mind. He missed a sitter of a yellow, so if he knocks this in, he'll forget about it, but he doesn't like it, does he? It's the easier ball to get up to the reds off.
I'm just wondering why he's not just playing it plain board, Dennis, twice across. The in-off's not on in the middle. The two reds to the right of the pink spot are clearly available. Doesn't have to do an awful lot with the cue ball. Just get the pace right. Well, he's decided to try and make something happen at this end of the table. And things are going wrong now for John Higgins.
3.
He has got a shot on that red, or the one in front of it. If it goes into the right corner, he can find that gap and come round onto the blue. That is available to him, but he'll have to be spot on. He's played it well. You can still put the blue in here.
Once again, obviously potting this blue, the white will be cannon into reds. He won't have a lot of idea where the white's going to end up, but he's just trying to get reds into play. Knew he was going to be cannoning something. Now, has he brought anything into play? At first glance, nothing easy.
9.
He's trying to see if he can pot the red in the middle and not leave anything on should he miss it. I think the pink will pass the reds into the left-hand corner. He's already had a look at that.
John Higgins, 9.
Very unlike John Higgins not to get closer to a snooker off a shot like that. Once again, neither player has found the ball cushion very often this evening. I mentioned right at the top of this match when it started that the table seems a little slower. The new cloth and new cushions have not yet bedded in. Another poor safety shot. You can count on one hand the number of times John Higgins in a session would play a poor safety shot. He's played about 10 in this match so far. Safety success since the interval has dipped.
Eight. $14.
This is an excellent chance for John Higgins, who was just starting to look a little bit edgy, making a few unforced errors. Well, that's okay. Didn't want to kiss
15.
the red, but he's got the correct side on the blue to get back to the reds. I think this is a very key visit to the table for John Higgins.
Two reds are in open play now. Okay, he's going to pot the next red and colour, but
20.
Those two reds and any value in the right-hand corner, really. Be interesting to see how he goes around getting these balls into play.
21.
Has he gone too far? Well, you can see the wry smile on his face there. He can't believe he's just played that like that. It's amazing what you can do under pressure. You can do such strange things when you're under the cosh. Having lost the two previous frames, you just come under it a little bit, John Higgins here. He can't get onto the red unless he plays the plant if that goes in. So just a safety shot coming up now.
27. John Higgins, 27.
This is the first time for quite some time John Higgins has got the upper hand on the safety. He could just play off the top cushion and roll onto the red that's on the side cushion there, but he's just wondered that John Higgins will have some sort of pot at the red that's below those three reds on the left, but he won't have a lot of idea where the cue ball's going. So is he going to play cushion first, or is he going to play it direct? He's playing it direct. Well, this red's cuttable. His face tells you he knows it is. That's why I thought he might just rest on the red off the cushion. At least then this red would still have been cuttable, but from tight under the cushion, wouldn't have been as easy as this.
1.
And that's a nice bonus for John Higgins to drop perfectly on the blue. And he brought the other red up the table when he cut that one in, so it couldn't have worked out any better. But
6.
It was Barry's choice of shot that caused this.
7.
I just wonder whether John will hold the pink spot. If this is dead straight, if he holds the pink spot, he can either play the red to break into the 2 reds and black, just wonder whether he's going to hold the pink spot. No, he's going to play the cannon after the next colour.
13. 14.
So 31 points in front. Needs a high value colour to leave Barry Hawkins in snooker.
20.
The pink would leave Barry Hawkins needs a snooker. The blue would leave Barry Hawkins being able to tie. And that's an excellent pass, and he has a nice angle on the pink as well.
Can you believe it? Well, he took longer than he normally would do there,
Higgins,
trying
21.
to make sure of the pink. And it's amazing, the game ball, even an experienced player like John had that in the back of his mind. And that's the only reason he missed that, is because he knew it was the frame ball. Amazing.
Barry purposely bringing the black into play, so should he get a chance with the pot at his next visit, he will try for the clearance. Well, John Higgins' safety this evening is, I've never seen him play so many poor safety shots.
I can't believe he went down that side of the table. It was much easier to go down the other side.
Well, he'd love to play the black with the rest here. He can see the black because the pink is going to come very, very close to the red. If he plays the black, which will obviously make this next red and colour easier. He's got the perfect angle on the black just to roll it in, but of course he'll need the rest. For me, the blue's difficult to get onto this last red. I'm surprised he's not playing the black here, I really am.
Now he's coming a bit close to this red here. He's not on it. He's on the red, but he can't pot it.
6.
Just a few little mistakes come at the end of this very important frame, because John Higgins is pink. I mean, he took longer when he was using the rest. He could have just rolled the pink in. This was the one, just roll it in and you win the frame, and he stunned it.
Barry Hawkins 6.
I don't know if he can see this full balls to send the red up towards the yellow. He's every chance of getting a snooker with the blue, pink and black as they are. Oh, that's what he's done. Might have found the gap between pink and blue. Is there a gap? Well, there's always a gap, isn't there? But he's got to avoid those colours if he's going to try and send the red round the table. He didn't like it, and what has he done here?
Foul.
And he's fouled the black as well.
Higgins 7.
He's smiling, but I think he just made a gesture. What have I done there? Or it rolled off, and then he hit the black. So all of a sudden he needs a snooker. What an error that was. He can't believe what he's just done there, because this wouldn't have been a gimme. It made that pot a lot easier, the fact that Barry needed a snooker when he fouled the black. Very unusual to see that at such a crucial stage as well.
Brown. John Higgins 1 and the frame.
And a very, very important frame, but what a schoolboy error from Barry Hawkins to foul the black there. John Higgins won't mind about that. He now leads 5 frames to 2.
Okay, thank you. The final frame of this session, John Higgins to break. Whatever that is turned off now, yeah?
So the final frame of this session, a relieved John Higgins breaking off. I'm sure he felt he'd possibly given that frame away on a couple of occasions, but he knows now he's going to have some sort of lead going into the next session. Will it be 4 frames or 2?
Safety from John, but what an unusual way for Barry Hawkins to lose the last frame. He thought that maybe the white drifted slightly, and he was just saying, oh, I didn't mean to hit it like that. And look at the cue. He accidentally fouled the black, and what a way to lose the frame, because that meant he needed a snooker. Very unusual. Both players still struggling with the
pace of the table. Both players still struggling to find the baulk cushion. It's been a strange session, this, hasn't it? When it was 4-0 to Higgins, you'd have thought he might have gone on to win 6-2 or 7-1. Then Barry Hawkins looked like getting right back into it at 4-3. Oh, that's unlucky. Played that very well.
1.
He knew he was kissing into the reds there, and there was a possible chance he could snooker himself, but could have played it 20 times and not snookered himself full ball.
Yellow ball. John Higgins 1.
Essential to find the top cushion this time off this shot. It's amazing the number of times I've hit baulk colours tonight. These are two of the best safety players in the world. And this is a tempter down the right hand side. He'll be on the black should he pot it. I suppose if he gets the cue ball to bounce 2 cushions and bounce a couple of inches off the cushion, he won't leave anything on. Maybe he's going to just stun it in for the choice of pink or blue.
Well, everything must be covering each other, otherwise John wouldn't have took that on, but how far did he miss that by? I mean, never got anywhere near the pocket egg. Both players are going to need a good night's sleep, and they'll be back tomorrow afternoon. They've played an awful lot of snooker here, and you do get a little tired, but once you have a morning off, it can make all the difference. And John Higgins knows that he's certainly going to have an overnight lead. It's just, is it going to be 2 or 4 frames?
That's more like the Higgins safety we were expecting.
Nothing sitting pretty there, that's for sure. Might have to try and just have a go at the pot on this. Doesn't want the double kiss. Oh, he's got the old DDK, the dreaded double kiss. He thought he could take the pot on and it might be safe, but when he double kissed the red,
one.
this is the chance that John Higgins was hoping he was going to get into this frame. A chance now of taking a 4-frame lead overnight. And with the black back onto his own spot, you would probably expect him to do it at this visit.
8. Nine.
It's been such a topsy-turvy session. We never knew at any stage who was going to take control of this match. I suppose at 4-0 you'd have thought Higgins, but then after the interval things changed.
$16. $17. $24.
Just has to make sure he gets top side of the blue here. Doesn't really want to be going in and out of board to play position. Well, he's obviously played for the pink.
25.
I think the pink spot appears to be covered. So he's going to lose the pink for a moment onto the green spot. Maybe that little flick on the red there made the pink available.
31. $32.
It's gone a little bit too far here. I mean, it's a deft little touch to knock that red in, but should have held better for the blue. So, key shot coming up. He's going to use the reds as a stopper here for the white. And that's a little awkward. He's stuck on that red. He's got a very tricky one to the middle pocket. He's bridging right over that red.
37.
He played it well. It just stuck on that one red. Not in ideal position just yet. If he takes the blue up into the corner, it's the better shot for position, and that's his choice. No, nowhere near. You could tell he didn't really want to play that.
John Higgins, 38.
You just sensed he didn't want to be taking that shot on.
And worse still, he's left to Barry a chance to get the black free into both corners. So this 39-point lead should evaporate very quickly from this position. He's probably going to need the yellow, of course, but he'd love to get right back into the frame at this visit.
8.
Well, if Barry Hawkins can take this frame, he'll sleep pretty well tonight, being 4-0 down. Okay, he'd got a chance when he won 2 in a row, but he's had a let-off here, and he's got to make John Higgins pay. Because 5-3 down after being 4-0 down wouldn't be a bad result. John has to sit there and hope that Barry can slip up, because he will know that he should have opened up a 4-frame lead.
16. $17.
Well, you can clearly see he's got 4 easy reds. And the one near the middle pocket
24.
Going to be the key ball in this last frame of this session.
$25.
He'd like to put the 2 reds either side of the pink and leave the red near his hand till last, but he's going to play the red now. But the reason I say that, because he could have left a half ball red and move that red off the cushion. As Dennis said, that's going to be the key ball.
31.
Right, he's right back into the frame now. What
32.
kind of lead he's going to have before he has to play the last red?
Yeah, we mentioned the red near the middle pocket's the key ball, but the yellow's also going to play a big part in it.
39.
Almost tight on the side cushion.
Now, if he can get on the pink half ball here, he'll be playing to move that red
40.
now. And with him being left-handed, makes the other red okay. So he'll be playing the cannon on that red. It's a frame winner if he gets it right, well, you think he'll have every chance of winning the frame, and that's okay. Now, can he bring the yellow into play? Now, this cannon, if he can win this red and move the yellow, he'll do that now.
46.
And he can. He's got a nice angle on this red to be able to bring the yellow into play. I mean, you'd be very unlucky to knock the yellow in the pocket, of course, but because he's going to have to play the yellow quite firm. He's going to have to play the kiss it quite hard, because he doesn't want the white to finish on the cushion. That's very clever. Okay, the yellow's in a lot better place now, albeit it is
47
back on the cushion, but it's in a lot better position there than it was before.
But he's got to get himself up reasonably close to this last red. And that looks just about perfect. Okay, he'll have to use the
50.
rest, but if it's straight, you would screw back to where the white is now. If he gets on the pink in that position, he can get up to the difficult yellow that he did move from one cushion to another. Well, he's screwing up, and that's not a bad thing either.
51.
Much easier to get to the yellow from the green, but can he stretch over and reach that?
And obviously the yellow is going to be very, very tricky along the top cushion, but he has to play to get on it and leave an angle on the yellow to get onto the green. Needs a bounce. That might not be any good. He may have to play with the green in the left-hand middle pocket.
54.
He needs the yellow, green and brown to pinch this frame. You don't want to have to be hitting it too hard.
This, the biggest shot of the match tonight for Barry Hawkins. We've already talked about if he gets out 5-3, he'll feel absolutely delighted.
Little glance at the scoreboard. He only needs the brown. It's a great frame to pinch this. 63. Makes things very interesting, Willie, for tomorrow.
It's been a strange session. It really has. John Higgins did all the scoring in the opening 4 frames. Barry Hawkins did most of the scoring in the next 4 frames. John Higgins will be taking a 2-frame lead overnight. An excellent break of 74 to finish, so John Higgins will be disappointed. Barry Hawkins delighted. The second session starts tomorrow afternoon. It's 5-3 overnight for John Higgins.